Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another City Skylines series. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm having a fantastic day. My name is Andrew, and you are watching Andrew Leo. And today, we're actually starting our adventure back into the world of City Skylines. It's been actually a hot minute since I last did a playthrough on City Skylines, or at least in a YouTube sort of context. For those who do not know, I do have my Twitch channel, which I do stream semi-regularly on. I haven't actually been these past few weeks just because of work and some other things relating to personal life and issues. But with this video, I'm hoping that I'll be able to start resuming video and stream production. So I hope you guys are interested in the long haul for that. As far as what we are doing in City Skylines today, that is a very good question. Well, first and foremost, I kind of wanted to go and get us started into a brand new LP. My last LP that I did was, I believe, based on the Sunset Harbor DLC, and I know that there has been a couple DLCs that have dropped since then, one of them being airports, which I do plan on utilizing in this series in at least some capacity. And then there is also the most recent one, which is Plazas and Promenades, that pretty much introduces the whole walkability aspect and changes it greatly. Which I am more than happy to go ahead and implement into this city. I actually do go ahead and get one built towards the end of the video, so you guys will be able to see that. In fact, I think you guys might have saw a sneaky peek about it at the very beginning there, right before I started talking. Anyway, with this, I kind of wanted to take advantage of the new roads that we have from the DLC. We have the median 2-lane roads and the 2-lane one-way roads with wide sidewalks. These roads actually have no parking on them, so it makes it ideal for creating roundabouts, in my opinion. And that's what I'm really interested in right now, utilizing that to our fullest extent. Now what I'm doing right here is I'm actually just getting things all built up, and throughout the course of this time lapse you guys will see that a few of the in-game achievements do go ahead and be fulfilled from now up until the live play, which that extends to getting up to, I believe, the Tiny Town achievement, which is the milestone you need to reach in order to unlock the pedestrian areas. Now, as far as most likely a good question that is going to be asked in the comments, and I am going to answer this now before I forget, is what about mods? Are we going to be utilizing mods in this playthrough? No, not in this playthrough. Maybe at a later point in time, but as it stands right now, I do not have any plans to be implementing mods at in any point in the near future. If I do implement any mods, they'll most likely be the quality of life mods, if anything, but nothing that's game breaking. As anything else would essentially be detracting from the actual game itself. Plus, there's enough inside of the game where I don't need to be utilizing any major mods or assets. Like, I might be utilizing a few of the assets that I have, but as far as that is concerned, I don't have plans to be utilizing any other sort of workshop items. There are a couple workshop items that I do plan on utilizing that are from my own works, but that will be determined at a later point in time. But where we are standing right now is that we just got done with the Little Hamlet achievement. I think that we are en route to do the next one, which, if I recall, is the oh goodness, it's not Tiny Town, it's the other achievement. That's the one that's at 960. I think I'd pop it up here pretty soon as well. But essentially what I'm getting started here is everything that we need. Now, as far as the map that we're playing on is, this is actually one of the new maps from the DLC itself. I'm actually happy about this map because it's going to bring in an interesting challenge. And from what you guys can see by the name of the city, Puerto de Leon, And for those who are asking, no, it is not French. It is actually Spanish. Because essentially it means Port of Leo or Port of Leon. It's the same sort of translation in both cases. The only reason I'm going with Puerto de Leon, sorry, is because this town I primarily want to build up as a port city. So there's going to be some cases where I am going to be implementing different types of ports to go ahead and help with the ease of traffic and congestion across the city. And then there's also going to be those dotted islands across the map, and I'm going to end up most likely connecting those to like a ferry line or something along that nature, where we actually do go ahead and implement a few different services between those islands, which will be quite interesting to see how those plays out. Because as it stands, the ferry ships that are in game are very limited as far as how much you have the capacity for. Now, what I'm building right here, actually, so getting back on track with what's being shown in the video, is I'm actually building up a sort of mixed park area. Not mixed park, more like a mixed zoning area. So this has right across from that industrial area is going to be all another bit of industrial. But there is going to be a barrier between that industrial and a residential area, and that barrier is going to be made up mostly of commercial zone. And right here, I'm building up kind of like a secondary minor road. So I'm utilizing those medium 2-lane roads as a sort of like secondary road, as you could call it, to the major roads of like the 4-lane with medians. I am really stoked to be able to use those new roads because they are bringing in asymmetric roads. And there's also, if I recall correctly, anyone can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe that they are also introducing, the 4-lane roads without median. So it's kind of like has a unmarked center. I think that one actually does exist with the industrial roads, but not in a vanilla style. So that will be interesting to see if they actually do decide, or if I do get that. I'm pretty sure I have that because it's in the base game. I think I'll end up finding out either by the end of the episode or by next episode. Who knows? I already know that it's going to be a next episode, but you guys don't really know that. Anyway, what I'm doing right here is I'm actually building out what I want to do for this sort of area right here that we're building. This area actually gets changed a little bit later on in this video, where we start messing around with the pedestrian roads, which is going to be interesting to see how that turns out. Right here, I'm actually going to be extending the expressway that we started at the entrance to our city. So that sort of highway that we have that enters into that roundabout, and this expressway is what I'm referring to it as, that connects to this. I kind of think that this is going to be a sort of major road for connecting the inner parts of the city with the outer parts of the city. So that's going to be quite critical to be utilizing. I do end up replacing the roads within the roundabout with the 3-lane and 4-lane roads respectively, just so that way we have that higher traffic capacity in those roads. And that's going to be very useful for us in the long run. And here I'm just filling out our water pipe network that we have to fulfill. And I think that right after this bit I go ahead and work on a bit more residential. Was it? No, it was I go ahead and start working on the zoning for the industrial area over here, because the industrial area is kind of split up, divided by that main road, so to speak. And I do zone this area as industrial as well, but I ended up removing that industrial zoning pretty much within the next within the next minute or so, because we have a heavy amount of residential zoning, and I'm like, okay, well, I was planning to have this be a mixed area anyway, so it will be useful to get rid of the industrial zoning there and just replace it with residential zoning. And then up here at the top, alongside the expressway, is where those additional industrial buildings will be going. And I believe that right about here, I end up working on trying to get our residential area built up in that sort of space. Yeah, so right about here. And I think that not in this point in time, but I think right towards the end of this time lapse, I go ahead and implement a clinic. I'm not entirely sure. I think it's right around here where we switch over from night to day. Yeah, I implement a clinic and I put it right over across the street there, and we get this beautiful sort of screenshot and pan view of the actual clinic. And with that, I will leave that time lapse off there and get you into the live play with myself. So see you in a sec. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Andrew, and you are watching Andrew Leo. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I'm having a fantastic day. And you guys just got done watching that little bit of a time lapse to go and get the video started. A little bit odd that I would start a series off in the form of a time lapse rather than actually playing through like the first 3 milestones with you guys. But I figured it would be the best and quickest way for us to get directly into the main gameplay. So as you can see here, I'm just kind of scattering through the town that we've built so far. And I've been kind of getting a grasp, I should say, onto where we should move from here. Now, if I go ahead and zoom out, we really have not used much of our starting tile. We have like a couple different residential areas. We got one that's over here on the left side of the highway entrance. And then we have one over here that's kind of nearby this industrial park sort of area. And that's really where we're at right now. We have plenty of open space that we have yet to start building up on in this sort of neighborhood. And I do have plans for pretty much this section to be mostly industrial. There will be a scattered bits of commercial along this sort of median road right here. So if I'm pretty sure if I explained this inside the time lapse, but yet I still explain it here, then I do apologize. But I'm kind of using these median small roads as sort of like a secondary major road in replace of like a large median. So instead of having to use these big 4-cell roads, I'm just using these smaller cell roads. Granted, it's less lanes, but I think that it works quite nicely. Kind of also gives a little focal point as to what's the main roads and what's aren't the main roads when we don't even have access to the decorative roads like having trees or grass-lined roads. I do like these new streets that we got from this DLC though. These new streets are wide pedestrian streets, which do not offer any parking, which is really valuable. And this is kind of prompting our citizens to pretty much walk from their residence to work, which is kind of what we're looking for. And I think that's what we will be doing here shortly, because I don't think I featured it at the end of that time lapse, but we did unlock the last milestone, or not last milestone. We unlocked the milestone, or the milestone number 3, which I believe is a tiny town. Let me double check. Oh, boom. Yeah, tiny town. So with that, we get park areas, industrial areas, pedestrian areas, along with landscapings and policies for both events and parks, which is going to be quite useful because I have a feeling we'll be utilizing the park areas and the pedestrian areas. Now, something I do want to make sure I mention real quick is I do plan on this being a full-blown city. Now, this is actually one of the newest maps, which I absolutely love the look of. I love the look how this is just a straight up highway coming in from the edge of the map. It looks absolutely beautiful. But this is also going to cause problems for traffic. So we are going to need to have additional ways for our citizens to go ahead and pretty much take stuff out of the city. So we're going to need to have some ports all around here, and we're going to need to have some passenger areas. Most likely, we're also going to need to have a massive airport, which I was kind of thinking about this, and I was looking at this sort of island over here. This kind of screams to me that it would be suitable for a sort of airport. And with the airports DLC that was dropped earlier this year, I think we will be utilizing that for when we do decide to build our airport. And as far as the reason as to why I didn't do an airports DLC playthrough earlier this year, I just felt like it wasn't necessary at the time. So, with that said, I think we need to go and do a little bit more planning, so to speak. I kind of want to make this area over here. As of right now, this is like mostly going to be a residential area, and I think that's going to be the case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and draw out, or at least finish out, the roads that I have along here. So this major road right here and this one right here, or this I'm not too sure if you would call this a stroad, but more so like a breakaway highway, so to speak. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I think just coming on to like right about there should do it. Most likely we will end up having to draw out a bit. And this right here, I think that can do just a little bit of a kink road. So that looks like it's about 5, yeah. And then we'll go and draw out that bit as a straight bit. And let's see, I think this should be a straightaway as well. And just for space efficiency's sake, I am going to get this drawn out as well. Yeah, I think that should be fine. Or actually, no, do that instead. That way we can just end it off there rather than the latter. Now, as far as how our roads look... Oh, that's right, I totally forgot about the 4-lane roads. That is something that is unlocked when we reach Tiny Town. I forgot about that. Ooh, okay. So that might be one of the things that we upgrade one of our roads for. Ooh, that's a good idea. As far as this is concerned, let's see. I think that we're gonna go back. Ooh, the one-way roads, 3-lane and 4-lane. I'm like a kid in a candy store right now. I totally forgot about these roads being unlocked at this level, or at this unlock, and I am happy. I'm gonna go ahead and actually downgrade that road to be a, be that a 2-lane. Yeah. And have that one be a 2-lane as well. We can keep that one a 3-lane. Why not? Keep that a 4-lane road. Keep that a 4-lane road. Turn this into a 3-lane road. That way we give the option for vehicles to go straight or turn in that second to right-hand lane. And it is quite interesting how this roundabout is actually working. It is an ovulobout, as I think Biffa would say it, but I think it works out really well regardless. In fact, I think that this should be a 3-lane. Yeah, 3-lane one-way. That'll be better. Just to give that same sort of option here as we do over here. Now, we don't unlock transport until 2400 population, which is going to be interesting how that's going to play out. So we'll go ahead and get into that later, though. As far as these roads are concerned, let's go ahead and do something with these. I'm kind of thinking, let's see here. I think I have to bring you about, let's see, right there and right there. Okay, that should be good, because this is just going to be that one road that we utilized that is essentially going to act as like a main road, as it were. And we'll just go ahead and connect these on up. And bring you down a little bit more. And last and foremost, oh yeah, and we don't want people utilizing this for parking, so we are going to want to change these roads out for the wide sidewalks, which is quite nice. Now, this area is kind of what I want to look at right now. This area, I think, is going to be ample space for a pedestrian district. So, pedestrian area are painted the same exact way as most other districts. So let's go ahead and just quickly do that. And I think that is a suitable space. Let me go ahead and just grab the small tool here. Ooh, not want that. So this is going to be our first little pedestrian area, so to speak, as it were. Okay. I do want to actually get this cleaned up a little bit. Okay. So then all of these roads, I'm going to be utilizing... Oh yeah, that's right. We have to place a service point for the pedestrian roads. That's right. Okay. Now service points. Where are the service points? I think that's under... No, it's not under there. I'm forgetting where that service point is supposed to be. I don't think it's under here, is it? Under... Might be under parks. Oh, historical fire station. Oh, I remember. That's from one of the content creator packs. And historical police. Interesting. Let's see. And historical library. Nice. Okay. I didn't... Pedestrian areas. That's where it is. So it's under parks, which is a bit interesting how they have it under parks instead. And I think I'm going to have it be right there. And that unlocks all of, pretty much all the pedestrian streets, which is quite interesting. Oh boy. I'm kind of interested to see how I can play with this. So, first off, let's upgrade these roads to be grass lined. right now it says that it's Myrtle Street, which I don't think I want to have that name. Let's call this, actually, I'm going to leave this up to you guys in the comments. What should we name our first pedestrian area? This is going to be kind of like a little bit of an old town as well, so I kind of want to get some good names going out there. If you guys have any good suggestions, let me know in the comments of this video, and most likely I'll have it picked for the second episode. So let's go ahead and get our residents come into this area. Let's do that real quick. And we'll just go ahead and place a bit of residents right there and right there. I also need to check. Our water grid is not actually fulfilled over here, so I need to go and do that. Whoops. Let's hope that's not going to become a foreshadowing for the future events. Okay, there's that, and we should be good. And there's that. I think put that there and not there. Okay, that should be fine for the moment. And look at that. I love these pedestrian roads. They look so good. Oh my goodness. I'm going to be utilizing these a lot. And I do like these bollards that kind of just attach neatly to the roads themselves. That is fantastic, the way that they implemented them into the game. For those who do not know, these bollards do go ahead and come down for service vehicles. So if you have police that needs to go to a residence within this within this sort of area, those bollards will go ahead and detract, and I absolutely love that. So we are having some power issues, which is understandable because we don't have enough power. Let's see. I'm kind of tempted to go and buy this tile over here just so that way I can get this extra sort of wind area, because I kind of want to go for green power up next. So let's go and buy this tile. Don't have enough money. Of course I don't have enough money. Let's go to loans real quick. Oh yeah, I forgot about that loan that I had taken out. Oh boy. Let's go and just place 2 of these windmills and get a power line going from the windmills over to town. And there we go. Give us that little bit of extra electricity. It looks like that service point is going to be quite useful. So at the moment, we have capacity for 5 cargo trucks to be utilized from the service point at any one time, and 3 garbage trucks to come back and forth from here to the garbage facility. So this isn't necessarily treated as a processing point, but it is received as like a sort of middleman, as you were. Okay. Now there is those roads put in place. I think that we still have plenty of demand, so let's go ahead and just get a bit of this going on inside of here. I want to zone as much as I can in this area and kind of make it a bit intricate, as it were. And I do have an idea for how I would like this to progress, but I will go ahead and save that for another point in time. I do want to have this be commercial right there, just so that way we have some cargo being utilized from the actual service point. And then let's see, and that way this is also serving as like a sort of breakaway, as it were, into the actual residential buildup that we got going on right here. Plus we do have that residential demand at the moment, so we'll go ahead and build that on up. And we'll do the same just over here, actually. Yeah, have that. Keep that unzoned for now. And we'll go ahead and do that. And I'm kind of intentionally keeping a 1 cell gap right here. Just so that way they're not building on this actual, like, road right here. Because I want them to be utilizing this pedestrian area. I am kind of disappointed, though, that even though the pedestrians are coming around here and utilizing these pedestrian streets, which is phenomenal to see how people are using it. Also, we have this police car over here. Let's go see what it does. Oh my goodness, the bollards. I love it. I absolutely love it. They just retract so neatly. I love, 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 love it. Okay. Okay, that is really good. I'm fangirling way too much there. Anyway, so that is a good amount sorted out for our pedestrian area for residential, which I think I'm gonna build up a little bit of commercial right there and right there. Just so that way we can get a little bit more commercial demand fulfilled. And let's see. I think just for sake of it, let's go and build a commercial building right there. Most likely it's going to build that adjacent to this road. So let's see what it does. Actually, no. Is that adjacent to this road or this road? I am not sure about that. I think it is adjacent to this road. Well, either way, that's fine. We weren't planning on that being solely for residential, so that's good. I am going to go ahead and just get rid of this little bit of grass right there. We will put a little bit more. Well, no, we have too much of a buildup of we don't have much demand for residential right now, but we will go ahead and plan this area out for commercial, and I think that we'll have a commercial building right there that's going to be on the pedestrian path, and we'll have 2 4x4 commercial buildings and another one right there. It's going to be on this sort of road, as it were. Okay. Nice, nice, nice. I like it. I like it a lot. Now, our industrial area, though, this is where we're going to be expanding that because we got quite the demand at the moment. Let's go and expand it and fulfill that area because we have a heavy demand for industrial. I believe, yeah, we are breakneck on the actual loans. So let's go ahead and increase taxes. I purposely have not been increasing taxes just because I've been wanting to keep it in mind for later when I absolutely need to. And at this point, it kind of looks like I do. So we are getting back into the positive income, which is really good. That's what I'm looking for. So we're going to get some more industrial over here. I was initially thinking to have this sort of area be a pedestrian area as well, but I think I'll hold off on that. Having this be a starter pedestrian is actually not that bad. So we'll leave it there. We'll go ahead and get a bit of commercial along this main road, just so that way we can get the demand down a little bit. Now, as far as how the transition is from industrial to residential is over here, this sort of area, I think, is also going to be a big sort of commercial place. So let's go ahead and get that fulfilled. I think that should be fine. Okay. Do it a little bit small chunks at a time, is what I would say. That. Fulfill that space. There we go. There we go. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And I do have plans for putting in a park over here. And I kind of am leaning towards this area being our little bit of a park. Oh. Oh, yeah. We are having some electrical issues, which that is easily rectified by adding in another wind turbine. And I think that is where we're going to hold it, because I am going to be spending the next, like, most likely 10-15 minutes just Googling, not Googling, but goggling my eyes over the looks of these pedestrian areas, because they are quite nice. And this is just one of the different styles you can have. There is bluestone. I think this right here is the cobblestone, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's also the sandstone version as well, which is quite nice. Let me see here. So yeah, this is actually the sandstone version. Okay. So then there is also this version right here, which is, I believe that says bluestone. Yeah, bluestone and cobblestone. I'm not sure which one I like the most. I think I like the sandstone better because it has that, it kind of pops a little bit more with the lighting. So I think I'll be utilizing that, but there is a good mix of pedestrian streets that can be utilized. But I think that will be saved for the next episode. If you guys did like this episode, please do make sure you go and hit that like button down below the video player. And if you are interested in seeing more of this series and seeing where it unfolds to, then please do go and let me know in the comments of this video, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, I will check you guys for the next video, and hopefully we go and get a little bit more creative in how we do things. I'll check you guys then. Ciao for now.